everybody, welcome back. It's been a bit of a break. Welcome to convention season, and Conflu is real. So we were both under the weather last week, so we didn't record.
Let's
No.
Right way. We have to.
No.
Okay. Whatever.
Seriously, you want to get into this? Go ahead, go for it.
No. Keep going.
Go ahead.
Your show.
Oh, of course it is, but no, you got something to say?
No, I was saying if we're gonna open a show, let's open it the right way, like we've been doing.
Well, we're opening the show with a little bit of a banter, but listen, Balky.
We will get into that later. We will get into that.
So we want to apologize to our lovely audience for not being here on our regularly scheduled, but we are back, and hopefully things will be back to somewhat normal. And I'm going to say...
Back to abnormal.
Yeah. Abby, someone.
Abby who?
Abby normal.
That's such a great scene.
Yes, it is. And let's start off with, right before we jump into things, the writer strike is over. The actor strike is over. So we're back to normal.
Ish.
Well, back to our regular scheduled programming.
That's better.
We're not censored anymore by trying to control what we have to say and do.
I don't think we were ever really censored.
We were kind of limited. We couldn't give outside opinions as much. So, but thank you for the agreement that they're all done. So now we're back. So welcome everybody once again to the Dragoon's Lair podcast. I am the Blue Dragoon himself, Daniel the Dragon, and with me once again is King Hamster Pellet himself, Mike Schiavo.
What's shaking, people?
That's right. So we've had a pretty interesting amount of time so far.
Yeah, really busy.
Yeah, everything's been crazy. We're going into the holiday season, and that means convention time.
Also,
What?
I think we're coming up on my 1-year anniversary of joining the show.
We're getting closer to that. Yeah. And I think you got a birthday coming up, too.
Yeah, a week from today.
There we go. Week from the day that we're recording this. So, everybody, you can send all your birthday wishes and happy birthdays to Mike.
And money.
Well, we can't accept money.
I can.
Do you have a Cash App that you want to promote?
I have Venmo.
You want to promote that name?
Hey, Michael-Schiavo 2. Hey, if you want to throw me some birthday love, I don't mind. I won't say no.
There you go. But you can send any of your happy birthdays to Mike, either posting them on the Dragoon's Lair podcast Facebook or Instagram page, or you can send us emails for anything you want to say to Mike at dragoonslairpodcast@gmail.com. That's Dragoon's Lair Podcast, all one word. Dragoon is spelled with 2 O's. That's dragoonslairpodcast@gmail.com. So we're using some new tech. Mike and I, we split the cost. We got ourselves a new mixer board.
We splurged.
Yes, we want to be a little more professional. A little bit. We're trying to squeak by there. But yeah, so hopefully everything is sounding good. This is our first episode on the new board.
We should name the board.
What would you like to name her?
I don't know. I'm horrible with names, as you know.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I've read your scripts. The names are literally bad.
The names are bad, but the stories are good. You have to give me at least that.
Well, you know what? I'm going to call her Rhonda.
Why?
She's helping us out, so help me, Rhonda.
See, my first thought was Ronda Rousey.
Oh, hell no.
Rhonda, help me, Rhonda. Help me, Rhonda.
No, this board, this let's just...
Whatever you say, Porky.
We normally don't really do tech reviews too much, but I have to say I do love the mixer board that we got. It's the Zoom P8 mixer board. This thing is picking up everything.
A mouse could fart in the other room and I'd hear it.
Yeah. So it's one of those moments where it's something that this is definitely a great professional board and for a podcast. So I would definitely recommend this to anybody out there who wants to take their podcast to another level if they don't have great equipment.
Yeah.
So, but we're going to call her Rhonda.
Help me, Rhonda. Help me, Rhonda.
There we go.
That's all I know of the song. Get you out of my heart.
There you go. You knew a little more.
A little more.
Just a little bit more. So, yeah, that's our little Beach Boys thing. So we had put off talking about Tiny Toons because we meant to, got distracted, and then we had our Jimmy episode.
Yeah. We got distracted. It was like, oh, we're going to talk about Look at a Kitty.
Yeah, pretty much. it's like, oh, we're going to talk about a squirrel. What squirrel?
Like, ooh, shiny.
Yeah. So our ADD is kicked up a little bit.
Oh, we've been working overtime.
Oh, absolutely. So between the two of us, we've had very busy lives going on, but we want to talk a little bit about Tiny Toons because Tiny Toons Looniversity came out. They've been showing the episodes on Cartoon Network, even though it dropped on HBO Max. Was it like 10 episodes, I think?
Something like 10 and not.
Yeah,
10, something like
about 10 episodes came out. And I was a huge Tiny Toon Adventures fan.
I still am.
It was a great show. The jokes still hold up to this day for the most part. Well, I think there's only a few of them that probably like are a little dated.
A little bit, but you still laugh at it.
Yeah. So what was your impression of Tiny Toons Looniversity?
Going into it, I was a little apprehensive because I grew up with Tiny Toons, and yeah, I'm not a huge reboot or continuation fan. When I heard about it, I was like, I was on the fence. I watched a couple episodes, and I'm like, okay, the characters are drawn the same way, which I like. Some of the voices are back, which I like.
No, they're not.
Sounded like they were.
No, those are all different voices.
Well, then they got people who sound like the original voice.
Yeah, because a few had retired, a few have since passed away.
Well,
So
they did a good job of getting people who sound like the original.
yeah, they've got a good voice acting cast.
do.
I have to hand them.
Yeah, I don't have any real gripes now that I know. I thought they had some of the original cast back, but no, I enjoyed it. It was kind of like a throwback with a little more like, okay, you can see like
An update.
yeah, like an update, like as if they were a little bit older, because if you remember in the original Tiny Toons, they treated it like it was a high school.
Yeah, it was kind of like a junior high school,
High school type feel. Now it's more like a real university because they have dorms there, and you see them pulling the all-nighters and like the like the pranks and everything. The prank war they had the Trojan horse.
Yep.
So it's a little more not updated, but you see they got a little bit older, where they went from high school to college, which I think is cool. Other than that, I'm glad that they kept it the same animation style, because if they would have changed it in any way, it wouldn't have been Tiny Toons. But I give it a thumbs up.
See, I'm kind of on the fence about it because there are voice actors who should have came back, and I did not hear their voices. I didn't see their names in the credits. They did bring back Montana Max for an episode.
Yep.
And Montana Max was originally voiced by Danny Cooksey, who was on Salute Your Shorts, as well as what most people may remember him from as coming on to Different Strokes towards the last season or two. So it was a little disappointing because I met him at a convention before COVID, and I know he's still around. So it really would have been great to hear that specific voice back. I mean, I know Plucky and them, voice actors aren't with us, so there had to be some changes, which I was willing to accept.
Yeah, I mean, with something like that, you have no choice. You have to accept it. Okay, the person passed on. You're not going to not bring back Plucky Duck.
Yeah.
So, okay,
but
concessions have to be made.
Yeah, but at the same time, then we have the issue of they killed a joke that kind of takes me out of it a little bit. There's no longer Babs and Buster Bunny, no relation. They're actual twins, which I'm like, they went to prom together.
Yeah,
it's a little creepy.
Maybe Acme Lou is in West Virginia.
That's a possibility. So I just really was not feeling that. That to me was, there was just something about it that it's it kind of ruined one of the best jokes of Babs and Buster Bunny, no relation. Because, I mean, they brought in Lola Bunny, which was kind of cool.
Did they? I missed out.
Yeah, Lola comes in. She's like the school chef. So
was she voiced by what the hell's her name? She was in the Ghostbuster reboot.
I'm not sure of who did the voice for this one for Lola, but I mean, Lola came out for Space Jam while the original Tiny Toons was airing, so they didn't put her into Tiny Toon Adventures. So now Lola is there for Tiny Toon Looniversity. So now she gets to actually be like Babs is like her mentor.
Right.
But the thing is, it's like, okay, it's Lola Bunny, it's Bugs Bunny. They're still no relation. But Babs and Buster are now brother and sister.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, that to me was a weird change, but I did enjoy what they did with it. I think some of the jokes went a little too goofy at times, but all in all, it's definitely not something that I would say I'm going to look out for to watch if there's another season or there's more to this season, but I will give it a shot and watch it if there's like I need something to look at.
Right. And the Lola version I was referring to from the Looney Tunes show.
Yeah.
Kristen Wiig.
Okay.
Lola Bunny. She was Lola Bunny.
All right.
Very cool.
Yeah. I mean, Kristen Wiig
is awesome.
Oh yeah, amazing talent. There were so many talented voice actors on Tiny Toon Looniversity, but it's, you know, I'm like, if they were to bring back Elmira and it's not Cree Summer,
Yeah, no, that's not gonna work.
I will literally like just stop it right there and walk away. Because you can't do Elmira's voice without having Cree Summer.
No, you can't.
Like, Cree Summer is absolutely fantastic of a voice talent.
Yeah, there's just some voices that
Or irreplaceable.
are irreplaceable.
You know,
like the original Peter Venkman from the Real Ghostbusters, Lorenzo Music.
yes, the voice of Garfield.
Unfortunately, the reason why he was replaced by Dan Cloutier
Yep.
from Full House was because Lorenzo passed away.
Dan Coulier?
Coulier.
Coulier?
Coulier?
I don't know.
No, Dan Coulier didn't pass away.
You mean Dave Coulier?
Him too. They're brothers.
Okay.
Just like Chuck Zito's Barry Zito's brother.
Yeah.
Dude that Alanis Morissette was singing about, okay?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Dave Coulier.
Dave.
Yeah. When you said Dan Coulier, I'm like, wait a second. Let's just take a second here. But yeah. Oh yeah. You know you don't like being mocked that much, huh?
Me?
You come on the show and you know you're abused. What that?
Yeah, I welcome it.
Of course
I
you
keep
do.
Going back for more. What the fuck is wrong with me?
So
Anyway,
but
next.
now talking about like not being able to replace voice actors, you know, Matthew Lillard
Yes.
is in the Five Nights at Freddy's movie.
Yes.
I have never played. I think I played the first game a little bit, couldn't figure out the controls, and walked away.
I know the premise of the first game where like you're a security guard in your office at night and you have to keep changing views to keep an eye on animatronics because if you don't watch them, they'll come to get you, and you have to spend and the whole purpose of the game is to survive 5 nights working at Freddy's.
Yep.
And that's all I really know.
Yeah, they've gone, and the lore is like so much more. I had to do a full like deep dive and watch like a bunch of like YouTube like shows, like the channels were all explaining the difference and the timelines, and there's a lot. There are even books.
There's one kid at the school that I work at. He was explaining everything to me, and he was just like going off, and they go to outer space, they go to this, they go to that, and he was all over. I'm like, dude, if you spend half as much energy on your fucking work, bro.
You'd be getting straight A's.
Yeah. I mean, he was like, buh, 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 buh. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Now, did you get a chance to watch the Five Nights at Freddy's movie?
No, I have not.
All right. It went to the theaters, but it was also on, I believe, Peacock.
It's on the cock already?
Yes. They were, I think it was like a simul thing.
Really?
Yeah, I love when they do that. It makes me feel like Spaceballs has predicted the future and it's come to life.
Instant cassettes.
Yeah, you know, instead of cassettes, it's streaming at the same time.
Yeah.
And there's something about that method that it works very well for me.
Yeah, because if you can't get out to the theaters, okay, let me just turn it on here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a parent, neither are you. And that's
That we
clear
know
as
of.
day. Yeah, I used to make that joke all the time, and an ex of mine hated that joke. It's like they're like, so you have any you have kids? I'm like, none that I know of.
Yeah.
She would get pissed every single time. That's why I did it every single time. But
And can you imagine why he's single, lady?
listen, a joke like that is still funny.
Oh yeah, it's yeah.
I'm not doing this to amuse someone else. I'm doing it to amuse myself. That's all that really matters. But Matthew Lillard's in the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, and I'm glad that I was able to see it without having to go to the movie theater with a ton of kids.
As an actor or a voice actor?
Actor.
Okay.
Because you figure he's done voice acting. His voice acting's, yeah. He became the new Shaggy.
Yes.
And he's done an amazing job.
And I think if there's anybody who could replace Casey Kasem, it is Matthew Lillard.
Yeah. And now with the Five Nights at Freddy movie, they've announced there's 2 sequels that are going to be coming out.
Of course they are.
Well, the sequels I think were already in like pre-production while the strike was going on, which was very interesting to hear. But you know, Matthew Lillard couldn't really promote it because of the strike.
Yeah.
And nobody could really promote anything. But I will say, like the movie, it was his character felt a little reminiscent of his character in Scream.
Okay. Was he like the crazy? Now, like, from what the kid has been telling me about this thing, and because he just rambled on.
Spoilers, just in case. No, I'm just saying.
No spoilers.
Okay.
That, like, the reason why these animatronics came to life and are killing people is because, like, the guy who owns Freddy's, like, the franchise, killed people and put them into the animatronics, or they possess the animatronics.
Yep.
Am I on the right track?
Yep, you are 100% on the right track.
Okay, and they're trying to get revenge on the owner, or they're just going buck wild?
According for the maybe that might be what goes on in the games, but in the movie itself, the animatronics are possessed by the spirit of these children who were abducted and killed at Freddy's.
Okay.
So these now that their spirits are inside the animatronics are basically alive, but the place is shut down.
Right.
So it's like they come to life at night, blah blah blah.
Right.
It was an actual good movie. I was amazed by the fact that it was a PG-13 horror movie.
And so it's not really gory?
Oh no. There really wasn't any gore, but it worked very well. Like there were a few little mini jump scares for things, but because I think I liked it probably a little more because I didn't know anything about it. So I'm going in like fresh eyes, have no clue about the backstory and all this stuff. There's so much lore.
Right.
And it was funny because one of the YouTubers who has like game theory and film theory, Matt Pat, was actually in the movie as a little cameo in there.
Oh, cool.
And he's done years of going through his game theories and now film theory of the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise, which includes the books, the games, now a movie. The franchise is amazingly huge, and I didn't realize how big of a franchise it actually is.
Yeah, neither did I. I mean, I knew they had the games, but I thought it like ended there. But when this kid went off and he was telling me everything, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, there are stories, lore, legends, and apparently, like, from what my understanding is, there's things that are in the games that are Easter eggs at backstory and hidden things that they just roll through, and it is an impressively creative universe. It's probably... I would say that universe is better created than the DCU.
Well, that isn't really difficult to do. Right? So wait, for the person who created Five Nights at Freddy's, we will give you... See if I can get the button right.
Nope. No, yes. There you go.
Yes, we turn on the shower for you. It can sound like water.
Yeah. Thank you, Rhonda.
Thank you, Rhonda. Thank you, Rhonda.
So... Now, the Five Nights at Freddy's movies is definitely something I would recommend, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what they do with the sequels.
Okay.
Because there's some twists in there. I don't want to get too into it because the movie's still relatively new, and yes, even though it is streaming on Peacock, it is in theaters. Anybody who wants to go see it, I definitely recommend. And seeing it at home definitely helps me out because was something to really get to sit through and enjoy and not have to worry about other people being around and talking through the movie and, them pulling out their cell phone and seeing everything. It's like, just be quiet.
Now, speaking of spirits,
Okay.
you know what I'm going to say next.
No, actually, I honestly don't.
Let's dive into the Ghostbusters Frozen Empire.
That is no. I was actually impressed,
So
but
was I.
I was impressed that I saw Bill Murray in the
Yes.
in the trailer because his feelings for Ghostbusters have been pretty out there.
Yeah, he
and
was like, we could have had a Ghostbusters 3 while Mr. Ramis was still alive.
Yep.
He was like, Bill Murray was like, no one wants to see a bunch of 6-year-olds running around in jumpsuits. And he kept, every time he sent them a script, he would shred it and send it back.
Yeah. Outside of the Ghostbusters video game, which was the unofficial Ghostbusters
Right.
3, he was pretty much adamant about there was no good script.
Right.
I don't even think he liked the script for Ghostbusters 2.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so either. And watching it when it was in the movies, when it first came out, I was like, I enjoyed it, but I felt it was and this is, when did it come out? 80, had to come out 89 because my sister wasn't born yet. So early 89. I thought this was, and I was 11 at the time. I was like, they really geared this more towards the kids because of the real Ghostbusters cartoon and everything else. I mean, I enjoyed it, but I thought it was a huge departure from the way the first one was.
Meanwhile, I love the second one.
I like it too, but
Oh, no.
it's not
I
really the
actually
first one.
love the second one more than the first.
Really?
Yes.
See, I wouldn't go that far.
See,
I like it. I don't like it as much as the first one.
See, to me, it has one of my all-time favorite lines. I know you probably like the whole thing with the EPA guy, and it's like calling him dickless. And it's like this.
In the original first.
Yeah, in the original. But for me, the second one had the mayor actually telling them, it's like, wait, so you want me to go on national television and tell a million New Yorkers to be nice to each other? Being miserable and treating other people like dirt is every New Yorker's God-given right. Your 2 minutes are up. Good night, gentlemen.
That's a great line.
That was absolutely amazing.
Yep.
That, and also, to me, it was great seeing, Vigo.
Yeah.
Just the painting coming alive.
And he was the same guy who played one of the villains in Die Hard, I believe. Yes, he was.
Yeah.
He was one of the guy's brothers.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it really is one of those things where it was to me, there was something about Ghostbusters 2. I think because I was able to see Ghostbusters 2 and I was a little older than when the first Ghostbusters came out. Because I remember...
Well, when we didn't see the first Ghostbusters in the theaters.
No.
We saw the second one.
I saw the first one on television. I think it was on a Channel 11 late night. And right after that, because I can remember... right after seeing Ghostbusters was The Gate.
Wow.
Yeah.
Freaked me out with that one when he turned his hand around and there was an eye in his hand.
Oh, yeah.
That freaked me out. The little demons running on fire.
Oh, yeah, no, but the stop motion animation and stuff, that was amazing.
That was great.
Oh, it still holds up pretty much. And it's one of those things where it's it's a memory that sticks out. And Ghostbusters Frozen... what is this? It's what it's
Frozen Empire.
Frozen Empire.
Yep.
This is going to be one of those movies that I am highly anticipating.
And the memes are already starting.
Yep.
Because when you see the Misty figure and you see the blue eyes,
Yep.
they're already saying, "Oh, Elsa's back and she's pissed off."
Oh yeah. We're going to get the memes, we're going to get the jokes and everything, but Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, just from that trailer alone, has captured so much interest.
I am so happy because I heard rumors when they were talking about doing another Afterlife sequel that they were going to bring back Vigo. And I'm like, please don't. Because, okay, great. You brought back Gozer for the Afterlife. I'm like, you hit the nostalgic. You kept it somewhat fresh. That's fine. And I was really hoping they wouldn't do Vigo.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, no, guys, you could do so much better. And then seeing it's this, I'm like, thank you.
See, now Vigo was a great villain.
He was a great villain, but maybe down the line,
if there's another one, but
or if there's a TV show down the line.
Yeah, I can see what you're getting at for that. I mean, for me personally, you know, when Afterlife came out, I loved it. I wanted more, and it actually got my love for Ghostbusters to like really like kick back up again into like full gear, where it's like I now want a fucking proton pack again.
I think, I mean, just watching the trailers and even watching Afterlife, the one person in the film who I think is having the most fun, Paul Rudd.
Oh,
when you see him and he's like, oh, he's like, you can tell he's like, you could just hear his thoughts going, I'm in a fucking Ghostbusters film and I have the proton pack.
Yeah, Paul Rudd he gives off such wonderful energy.
He does.
That it makes you excited to see it.
You're like, good. He makes you want to see something that he's in.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
there's a reason why Paul Rudd is on the list of like the sexiest man. Like he made that cover. Because he's not fucking aging.
The man does not age.
No.
He was in the Super Nintendo F-Zero
commercial
and he looks the same.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I swear, I think him and Kenan Thompson,
yes, they don't age.
They've sold their soul.
No, they found the fountain of youth.
Yeah, there's no way that they did not find some way to stop aging. It's amazing. And I'm like, Paul Rudd is up there on my list of like actors that if he's in a movie, I'm a little more willing to see it, even if I don't like the rest of the cast. And I actually like the way this cast has been. Yeah. Afterlife went and established a great cast. Mm-hmm. So to see where this is going to go, I'm definitely looking forward to it.
People are already talking about the Easter eggs now because you see the red jackets that they're wearing. And they're like, oh, it's the red jacket from the original Ghostbusters when you see Bill Murray dancing, waiting for Dana to come out. Oh, it's that jacket. And then they were throwing up scenes from the real Ghostbusters when you see them in red jackets. And I was like, okay, maybe you're thinking a little too much into it.
Oh, they always do.
But I did find something when Afterlife came out. After I saw Afterlife, I was like, I'm feeling nostalgic. And I threw on the Real Ghostbusters DVD, and I'm watching one of them. And they had the Dirt Farm.
Oh, yeah.
They had the Dirt Farm in the Real Ghostbusters cartoon. And it looked exactly the way they did it in the movie.
See, now, when you get like things like that and wonderful connections, it's the respect for the franchise, for the established universes. Yes. Even though the cartoon and the movies were different.
Yep.
Although in the comics, I think they actually did meet.
Yes, yes, they did.
They did like
real Ghostbuster. Yeah. The whole comic was Ghostbusters. They did one where it looked like they did in the cartoon, and then they had one where they looked in real life, and they meet, and I actually have those episodes, and it's really cool the way they did it.
Yeah, which I have to give a shout out to my buddy Chris Sorrentino.
Yep. Oh,
talented artist, and his love of Ghostbusters is absolutely amazing.
Baby Belushi.
His artwork, literally, he does stuff where he'll draw scenes from the Ghostbusters movie, but the characters all look like the real Ghostbusters cartoon. And it is absolutely phenomenal. Definitely check out Chris Sorrentino's like Instagram and stuff. He is amazing. I'm pretty sure you can find him, and you can check out his podcast, Super Live Adventure, with another buddy of ours. So it's like he is extremely talented, and his podcast is great. Like, you guys should definitely check that out as well. I got to give a plug out there.
Yeah, give a plug.
Oh, absolutely. And now, with all of that going on, we also had a couple of endings this week. Now, I don't know if you saw it or not, but it was the last episode of Doom Patrol.
No, I did not. This is the last.
This was the last episode, so it was the finale, not just season, but series finale.
Yeah, no, I did not see it.
Yeah, because, the Warner Brothers Discovery merger canceled a bunch of stuff. Yeah. And this was one of those things where at least it got a way to end. And out of every one of the properties that was on from DC on HBO Max that ended, I have to say that this one really pulled at the emotions and like it tugs and is a proper finale.
Okay, what'd they do?
Oh, okay. So spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen it, but it's basically now they're all aging.
Okay.
They are finally battling Immortus.
Okay.
And it's not even a battle. There's actually like a musical sequence with Immortus and the zombie butts. So, or werewolf butts, whatever they are. They were just butt monsters. So
But monsters.
they're literally like singing. But they eventually like almost all of them get their like out of the core four that have been there. Crazy Jane is no longer just with different personas that come out. She becomes Kaleidoscope.
Ah, cool.
So all of the personalities have now merged together so she can actually use all the different abilities.
That's cool.
Cliff gets to end up going, and after all is said and done, he gets to go spend some time with his daughter and his grandson, and Immortus had given him a crystal that lets him see his grandson's like future, because he ain't making it. So Robot Man shuts down. Cliff actually goes and meets his boyfriend, finds him. They go off into outer space, and it's like they're gonna get their happily ever after. Rita unfortunately passes away. She becomes a ghost. So she gets her afterlife happily ever after, getting to see the guy that she was in love with when she spent her time at the ant farm. Madame Rouge goes to the ant farm and actually is in there with a flamethrower.
Oh God.
And I love this cast so much. This was absolutely like one of my favorite shows that DC did with Berlanti that was not on the CW.
Did Beast Boy come back?
No, Beast Boy doesn't come back, but Cyborg gets his mechanical parts again. So now that he's got his the outside machinery, but he is actually now like working with one of his old friends at a school teaching kids.
That's cool.
So
he kind of became the Professor Xavier.
Kind of, but they put little logos on his different parts, so it almost looks like an engraved tattoo on the machines, and one of them is the Doom Patrol, so the DP in a circle.
Nice.
So it's like everybody who made him. So it's like he's got a little memory of his friends, got a memory of the Doom Patrol. So it all works. And Jane actually does have her romance with the weird like space character that was brought in with Dorothy.
Okay.
Dorothy she wasn't there for the last episode, so I guess like she's just running around traveling the world still.
It was worse things to do.
Yeah, and now we had the second ending because it was Loki season 2's finale.
That ended already?
Yeah, it's only 12 episodes with both seasons.
Wow, I am so behind.
Yeah.
Honestly, I saw like the first 3 episodes, and then Lynn and I binged last week, but for some stupid reason, the captions came up, and I couldn't turn them off on Disney Plus. So whenever I read captions on a screen, it puts me to sleep. And I fell asleep, and I missed like 4 episodes, and she was like, "You are out cold." I'm like, "I know."
And this is why I know why you can't watch anime. Because
Yeah,
if you
I'll
watch
fall
it,
asleep.
you'll fall asleep if it's in Japanese.
Yes.
But if it's English dubbed, you should be fine.
See, I bought a Headmaster series.
Okay. Transformers Headmasters.
Headmasters, and I saw it. I actually bought it at Best Buy
When they still sold DVDs?
when they still sold DVDs. When I had like a nice selection of DVDs,
Yep.
I'm like, "Ooh, Headmasters!" Not because it was in the shiny box. Because I have a bootleg version that's English dub from Comic-Con one year.
Yep.
I'm like, "Oh, let me just get the updated version so I can go to each episode that I want, and I just have to watch everything." I'm like, "Okay, cool." I put it in, and it's like, and I'm like, "Son of a bitch, it's in Japanese."
Well,
I don't want to read my cartoons.
even though it was originally a Japanese like cartoon and series, because the funny thing is, watching Secret Galaxy or Toy Galaxy, whichever one it goes by now on YouTube,
Yep.
they've done like talks of the different Transformers franchises and everything, and it pretty much is Transformers and GoBots were all the same fucking thing.
They were. And the-
Everybody was just different sizes.
Right. The writers of the Transformers movie actually confirmed, because when you see two robots in the Transformers movie getting boiled in the acid inside of Unicron,
Yep.
the writers confirmed that it's supposed to be Leader 1 and Psykill.
GoBots.
I mean, honestly, I had the toys. I had some of the GoBot toys, which I thought was cool.
Well, because the GoBots were more affordable.
They were more affordable, but they were tiny. So
Yeah.
I always brought them in with the Transformers, and I'm like, okay, I don't give a shit, because you had the like Bumblebee, Cliff Jumper, Pipe. They were the mini cons.
Yeah, and then let's not forget the Cassetticons.
No, just called the cassette.
Because there was I think there was a name for them.
The cassettes.
Yeah, well, because you had Soundwave had his
Soundwave has his cassettes. Ratbat,
Laserbeak.
Laserbeak, Buzzsaw, Rumble, Frenzy, Ravage, and then Blaster had his cassettes. Eject, Rewind, Ramhorn, Steeljaw.
Okay, I'm going to say this right now. The way I was able to do that with Power Rangers, you just did that with fucking Transformers. So give yourself a round of applause for that one. Yep. There you go. All right, I think that's enough. Don't hurt yourself patting yourself on the back there, pal.
And a little joint that I could reach.
Stealing my lines. No, but yeah, it's one of those things where there's always been like that. Like the toys are always the same, but at least now I know you can't watch anime unless it's dubbed.
I can't.
Oh, I can definitely give you plenty of dubbed anime to watch, because New York Anime Fest is coming up. You know, we've had a lot of conventions. I don't want to ruin Loki season 2 for you.
Again, spoilers don't bother me.
Yeah,
I don't mind them.
All right, so I'll give spoilers right now. So here's your spoiler warning for Loki season 2, because I just watched it at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Before you get into it, let me ask you a question. And this will be spoilers. So if you haven't heard it, lower the volume. I'm going to give you a thumbs up. Turn it back on.
Yeah, they're going to hear this on the audio version. They're going to see your thumbs up, right?
Well, use imagination. Okay. The last episode I saw, you have Miss Minutes working with what's her name? Rage Hunter?
Renslayer?
Renslayer. You had her working with Renslayer, and they were in the office of He Who Remains when he was all like disheveled and everything. And then, she's like, Miss Minutes goes, I can tell you what happens, but you don't like it. Does Renslayer become a version of He Who Remains?
No.
Okay. Because in the comic books, one of the aliases, it's Renslayer.
Yeah, no. Renslayer, there's kind of an ending, but little ambiguous, but it was more like Renslayer gets pruned.
Okay.
And remember, there in season 1, there was that giant beast like before the castle.
Yeah.
Of He Who Remains.
After everybody. Who
the giant giant beast that was devouring everything.
Yeah, Cerebus.
It looks like Renslayer's about to be devoured.
It looks like it, but you don't see it.
Yeah, you don't see it, so you don't know.
You don't know.
But there was a pyramid in the background, so I kind of wonder if that plays into the part of Ramatet, one of the many
alternate egos.
Yeah, the different variants.
Yep.
Which I have to say, we're going to see what ends up happening, because now I can't talk about Loki without addressing the fact that Jonathan Majors was in this season.
Yes.
Now, they do make a reference about the variants in the last episode, about the fact that one of the variants was taken care of that was 616 adjacent.
Okay.
So that's Ant-Man and Wasp Quantumania.
Yes.
So they do have that reference in there. Even though people want to be really harsh on Ant-Man Wasp Quantumania.
I liked it.
Oh, I love that movie. That was great.
I didn't have a problem with it at all.
There's something about how fun the Ant-Man movies are. It's like you watch Spider-Man, you're going to have a good time. You watch Ant-Man, you're in for a good time. It's not going to be something that's really draining and so emotionally invested that it's like you really are getting screwed.
Again, and I think a lot of that has to go with the cast.
Yeah, but
you have the dynamic between Michael Douglas and Paul Rudd.
Yep.
Anybody in Paul Rudd is hysterical.
Oh yeah. But now with Jonathan Majors, who phenomenal actor.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
I'm not happy about all this controversy.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's going to trial. They've made the announcements that he is going to trial, so we're going to see what happens. Marvel hasn't really come out and like completely done away with him. Although I will say that all like the things I see online that people would like to see would be kind of interesting if they replace Kang with Doctor Doom. Because Doctor Doom is a credible threat that not only could we get Doctor Doom, but because there's a way to like delay and bring in Kang the Conqueror, but now you can just change him.
There's a way to delay and bring in Kang the Conqueror. I think personally they should wait and see what happens, because you have this huge lead-in, you have this huge build-up for Kang, and then all of a sudden you're just going to switch gears and make Doctor Doom a big bad. You see...
Well, they've got the opportunity because they are... Remember,
yes,
we're supposed to be getting the introduction of the Fantastic Four.
Right, you have the introduction of the Fantastic Four, but you haven't introduced them yet. They have all this build-up for the next... They set up Kang to be the next Thanos. Fine, I'm with that, no problem. But all of a sudden to say, okay, now we're going to just switch gears and we're not worried about Kang anymore. Now it's going to be Doctor Doom. I don't think it sure as hell won't be as big of a build-up.
In all honesty, I don't think it needs to be that much of a build-up, because Doctor Doom, if they do it right, and I mean they have to do it right, because they've gotten him wrong.
Yes.
Repeatedly.
Yes.
But then again, that was part of the Fox universe.
I think they have to be so careful with replacing Kang with Doctor Doom, because right now a lot of us, myself included, are feeling the Marvel superhero burnout.
See, I'm not...
All the TV shows, I'm a little burned out with
You're
Marvel.
burned out by
a little bit.
I'm not. See, that's the thing. Like, I'm not burned out by it, but that's also because of the fact that I can follow everything that's going on. It sucks that I have to constantly bounce around, but I can still follow it.
Yeah, I mean, I can follow it too, but I'm just like, okay, I'm a little... I want to see something new.
Yeah,
I love the characters. I love the actors. I want to see a little something new.
Yeah, I think we're all at the point where we want something different.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you saw that there was the news articles that Daredevil Reborn
is pushed back.
It's not just pushed back, they're redoing it because it didn't fit. Like, they didn't have showrunners, which is the biggest problem. Yeah. So now they're realizing they actually have to run the Marvel TV shows and everything. Even though they're on a streaming platform, you need to run it like if you were running a TV series. So the same way, like the CW did an amazing job by having Greg Berlanti as the overseer, but each of his shows that came from those different series had different showrunners. So The Flash had a different showrunner than Arrow, and Legends of Tomorrow was different. So it all worked because you had somebody who was keeping everything in check, knowing what was tying in, having the overarching theme. And that was the great thing about the CW's Arrowverse.
They had a plan.
But there's... Marvel has been throwing things at the wall. And yes, WandaVision, impressive, great. Then
when I first saw previews for WandaVision, I'm like, how are they bringing back Vision?
Yeah. And
is it taking place before?
And you were able to find, and it was able to be followed, and it made sense. And all of the shows, for the most part, have fit. Yes. And they've worked.
Yes.
But they're starting to see that some of the stuff that they've been trying to come up with
won't work.
Isn't working because they weren't testing it.
Yep.
They weren't looking at it through the right lenses. And I think they're learning their lesson.
We hope.
But there is the superhero fatigue and the thing is, I can honestly say DC, we were already burnt out with them way too quickly.
Yeah, they did too much too soon. Because, again, I said this from the beginning. Marvel had a plan.
Yep.
Let's test the waters with Iron Man, and let's give him a little teaser at the end credits.
Yep.
Oh, that worked. Okay, let's push it a little bit more. Let's push a little. Let's add
Yeah.
this person at the end credit. Let's give Hawkeye a cameo.
They knew they wanted something and they were building something. They had a pretty much a 10-year plan.
Yeah.
But now that plan after Endgame is over.
Yeah.
So now it's them trying to come up with a new plan.
Yep.
It's going to be difficult.
And see, now
But-
I heard
Go ahead.
that Thunderbolts and the new Blade reboot are canceled.
Blade canceled, or what I'm hearing.
I heard canceled, and then I heard they were just scrapping it and starting from.
It looks like they're doing that with all of them, but there were certain things that were canceled. I think they were looking at doing a Captain Britain thing.
Yeah.
That one seems to be like canceled.
No, what I heard with Blade was,
Blade was a fucking shit show to begin with.
and we're not talking about the Wesley Snipes ones.
That was only the third one, which was a real shit show.
Yeah.
The first Blade movie with Wesley Snipes was great.
That was the one that everybody credited for getting the MCU off the ground.
Yeah, the second Blade wasn't that bad.
Wasn't that bad. Third one, Ryan Reynolds saved the day.
He saved it as best he could.
But what I heard was the character who's playing Blade now, he got the script and he was like, the fuck is this? And Kevin Feige was like, the fuck is this? Because Blade doesn't show up until the third act.
Yeah.
And they were making it, like they're trying to make it, I'm going to get shit for this, trying to make it woke. And they were like, oh, it's Blade, but we're making it, the lead is a female and we're following her, and Blade doesn't show up until the third act. And he's like, the name of the fucking movie is Blade.
First
How
off-
am I not showing up to the third act?
First off, I hate that phrase woke.
Yeah,
because
but lack of a better term.
there are plenty of better terms for it. But the thing is, you have to understand, they've been doing this for so long, and Hollywood is finally being called out for what they're doing. They get you to sign up with a script, and then they change the script on you. So now, yes, you expect there'll be some rewrites, but you signed up for a specific premise. Look, that's what happened to Ryan Reynolds with Green
I
Lantern.
was going to say that.
They got him to agree for one script, and then they completely changed it around for another that was nothing compared to what it could have been.
Right. And they said, he said, this isn't the movie that I signed up for. He goes, I will fulfill my contract. He goes, but you have a choice. He goes, I will do Green Lantern 2. He goes, or I will do Justice League. He goes, you're not getting me for both because of the way you fucked me over.
Yeah, and and got to do neither.
Hey, which I'm sure he's happy because he went off and he did Deadpool.
Exactly. So, and he's
Another
having
movie. I can't wait for it.
Oh, the third one alone, like
my God.
every little thing that we've seen so far makes me want Deadpool 3 so much more. But
It's the anticipation.
yeah, but I got to get back to Loki season 2's finale. It's like Loki's now learning how to control that like time flipping where he kind of just bounces around. So now he learns how to do it. So now he keeps traveling, trying to fix the loom. It's like, how can we do this? Is it faster? Whatever. He actually sits down and has a conversation with Kang where they use where it's Sylvie trying to kill him from the end of season 1.
Right.
And it's like, he knows it's either Sylvie kills Kang, and we just keep going through this repetitive loop because it's going to be a disaster, or he basically has to figure out a way to fix it. And it's like, no, can't stop her, because if you kill her, like, he'd have to kill her.
Yeah.
There's no stopping Sylvie at that point.
I don't know.
So he basically goes and steps up and becomes, like, you see him, he gets the horned helmet and everything. I have to say, and this is a major, huge spoiler, I feel like he basically, considering Asgard was destroyed in Ragnarok. So when Ragnarok, with Asgard being destroyed, there's the Norse mythology of the Tree of Life, Yggdrasil.
Yep.
He basically takes the timelines that are branching, and it looks like he turns it into the world tree of Yggdrasil, and he is in the center of the world tree.
See, that makes sense. And
And there was no real post-credit sequence for it.
there was never really any post-credit sequence in this whole entire season.
No, but that's the thing. Like, I was kind of expecting maybe a step
So did
into
I.
something else, and there wasn't.
Which is fine. I'm fine with it.
Yeah,
I'm,
it was
I'm a little disappointed, but at the same time, I'm not.
I'm watching the credits because now Marvel has us all
watching
trained
the credits,
to
yes.
watch the credits.
See, and now I'm hoping, because Tom Hiddleston, great actor, don't see anybody else picking up the cape and the horns like him. I'm hoping they kind of make him go back to his, hey, I'm Loki. I am the god of mischief. I like him as a villain.
Yeah, the thing is, Loki is technically dead in the 616 universe. Yeah. So, because this Loki is an earlier version and a variant, he's a variant.
He is a variant, yes, because okay.
Alternate timeline.
He's from the 616 universe.
He was, but technically not, because he's an earlier version that bounced out, and yet he still had because they time traveled.
Right.
So they messed with and branched the timelines.
Right.
So, yes, they fixed other things, but this was a variant branch off.
Okay.
So, but it was nice to know, Mobius actually goes back to see, where he was before all of this.
Oh, they finally showed him?
Yeah, they showed it. There was an entire episode where Loki is going and he's, time slipping back and forth. He comes across, Mobius in before the TVA, I never remember the woman's name, the one that was looking to prune everybody, the soldier.
Yeah, I know.
You get her, even the scientific guys, he sees all of them. It's he's trying to figure it all out.
You know who the guy was who was fixing the loom? You know who he is, right?
Yeah.
Who?
Data,
and he was short round.
Yep. But what is it?
I'm gonna look it up now.
Ki-Hoon Kwan or something.
I'm gonna butcher the name. I'm gonna look it up.
Oh yeah, we're butchering the name, but no, he's made a comeback ever since Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yep.
And he is people are actually realizing how talented of an actor he actually is.
Yeah, Ki-Hoon Kwan.
Yeah. Sorry if I butchered the name, which I'm sure I did, but
yeah, the other one is Wonmi Mosaku.
Is that the
B-15? She has a name. It's
okay.
It's the designation B-15.
Okay. So yeah, so you get that entire crew and the variant version of the earlier Victor Timely?
Yes, Victor Time. That was the name he was using, Victor Timely.
Yeah. So that one, you see them, they're all trying, but Timely doesn't get the handbook for the new TVA.
Yeah. Did Crossbones show up?
Nope.
Well, he's listed as a cast member.
Well, if he was there,
Frank Grillo.
You know what? If he was there, I didn't see him. That's the thing. It's he could have been one of the other guys mixed in there.
Could have been,
but I don't remember seeing him. But this one was very emotional. It didn't really pull on the heartstrings as much as Doom Patrol's ending did.
Yeah.
But the fact I was don't tell me they just created Idrisil. He created the Norse mythology of the World Tree by having it be the branching timelines, which I thought was an amazing concept and something very interesting to do.
Yeah. Now I have to go back and watch it, but very
cool. They're using they didn't say it was Idrisil, but I'm I was always a fan of Norse mythology, but also Greek mythology. So this was something that I was oh, wow, this was pretty impressive. So we had all of that, and Gen V ended, and what started up? The boy spinoff, Gen V.
Oh, yeah, okay. I'm
that ended last week.
Yes.
And we got the start of Invincible Season 2. And they did announce that Gen V will have a second season.
Good.
And they said, you can watch The Boys seasons 1 to 3, watch Gen V, and go right into The Boys season 4 when it comes out.
Okay.
So it's all tying in together.
Very cool.
So that was great. And I don't know if you've watched Invincible.
I've watched the first few episodes of the first season. I know the basic premise, how not Invincible, what's his name?
Omni-Man?
Omni-Man. No, he thought to be the Superman, the whole thing, and he brought everybody to his secret lair and just put his fist through everybody.
Yeah.
And then Invincible was holy shit, Dad, you're fucked up. And then the two of them start fighting.
Oh, yeah.
They figure out, how do I fight my father? Do I fight my father? Kind of that Luke Vader thing.
No, the funniest thing is I didn't read the comics So I didn't know anything really about it, but I saw the show and I loved it. Loved the cast. I figured you would have been a little more interested in it because it's Robert Kirkman is one of the guys behind it, and you were a big Walking Dead fan.
I try to get into it. I'll give it another shot. I don't stream all that much, so.
Yeah. Well, the problem is, unfortunately, not everything is becoming available for you to sit there and like get the DVDs and everything.
Yeah, I know, which sucks.
Yeah, it would be nice to be able to still collect the stuff and have it, but they don't want you to have it because they got to pay royalties for it.
Yeah, I know.
Talk about actually promoting piracy at this point. Mm-hmm. And thank you, studios. You're the reason why people are pirating, because
You're not making it accessible for us anymore.
and let's just be honest here. All the streaming platforms are raising their prices.
Yep.
So, and I'm sorry, the fact that if you have Hulu separately alone on its own is almost like $20 a month.
You might as well just stick with cable.
Yeah, it's streaming pretty much is cable with extra steps.
Yes. It's no commercials.
Well, but now all of these like companies, Disney Plus, Hulu,
They're putting in
Max, they all want commercial tiers. Even Netflix is trying to do a commercial tier.
Which is...
Because
They're going to put themselves out of business.
well, no, the thing is people will pay for the commercial tier, but the problem is, why are you paying for the commercial tier? No, you're paying for streaming so you don't have commercials.
Exactly.
But if you got to do commercials, there's no limit to how many fucking commercials they're going to put in.
See, that was the whole thing with cable. You get cable, so you don't have to have the commercials.
Yep.
Now they put fucking commercials on cable, and I'm like, the point?
Yeah.
You get 400 channels of fucking commercials.
See, it always reminds me of the what is it? The Boss's song, Bruce Springsteen, 57 channels and nothing on.
Pretty much.
And this is what it's becoming with. It's like 57 different streaming platforms.
And nothing is on.
Oh, everything's on. You just have to have the right one to actually watch something. But if you want to watch something else, you need a different platform.
See, that's where my problem is. It's like sensory overload for me. There's so much on at the same time. Like, what to watch. I can't, I'm like...
Well, see, I have that problem when it comes to watching anime, because right now this fall season has had so many great anime that have come out. Mm-hmm. They just dropped the first part in English, at least. The second part is actually available with subtitled for Attack on Titan's final episodes.
Okay.
And Attack on Titan is phenomenal. You never know who's dying. You can see it's pretty much like The Walking Dead you didn't know which characters were going to die. Game of Thrones, anyone was up for grabs. This is pretty much very similar, where you don't know who's going and who's coming. But that now we also have Goblin Slayer. The content can trigger some people because the goblins are pretty brutal and graphic in what they'll do to people.
Well, they're goblins. So
Yeah, but Goblin Slayer, his entire thing is just slay all goblins. That's his whole thing. It's like he'll fight other monsters, but goblins are his bread and butter. And it's like Goblin Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. There's so many great things, but looking at the list for next year, like for winter, I'm like, I don't think there's that much for me to watch that I'll be able to play catch up with some of it. But there's just so many things to watch.
I'm on sensory overload when it comes to streaming stuff. I'm just like, everything's on at once. I want to watch it all. No, I can't.
See, I want to. The only good thing is I have a variable schedule, so I do get like time to be able to watch certain things. You have more of a structured schedule,
Yeah.
which I miss my structured schedule. But unfortunately, people don't understand how to make an actual schedule that works for people and will actually not have a ton of gaps. And I don't care if they hear this or not, because I've explained that to them multiple times and they don't listen. But, I'm just a low man grunt that doesn't understand anything. I'm a little... Listen, yes, I'm crazy, but at the same time, I'm actually intelligent.
He's crazy. He's not stupid.
Exactly.
See, and that's why we make movies, so we can make our own schedule and say, fuck you.
Yep. And if there's anyone who would like to contribute to us and help us make some projects,
Yep.
reach out to us and we will let you know how you can do that.
And how can they get a hold of us, Daniel?
You can send us an email at dragoonslairpodcast@gmail.com. That's all one word. Dragoon is spelled with 2 O's. That's dragoonslairpodcast@gmail.com. So make sure you reach out to us, and you can find some of the stuff that we've done on YouTube.
Yep.
At, what is it, Hamster Pellet Productions?
Propeller Production.
And you can find the Comic Book Jones movie that we did on Blue Dragoon 13, my YouTube channel.
Yep. That's a good one.
I like make sure that one's listed in the description for every one of the episodes of the Dragoon's Lair podcast
Yep.
on YouTube. There is a link to go watch.
That took us 2 months of shooting just on Sundays. It was, you watch it and you're going to be like, what the fuck am I watching? Because I wrote it on a whim after meeting Mr. Smith, Kevin Smith, the first time. Again, you heard the story. I sent him, I brought him a script to sign. I said, it's my version of Mallrats. He signs it. Mike, fuck Mallrats, go make Clerks. And I'm like, how do I do that? And at the time, every week, I was going to Comic Book Jones. I'm like, oh, okay. And
I have to say, the Comic Book Jones is no longer there.
It's in our hearts.
It's definitely in our hearts. It was an amazing comic book store, and it didn't even feel like just a store.
No, it felt like you walking into your living room.
Yeah. It gave that great experience, and it's a shame that they're no longer there.
Like I've gone into other comic book shops, and I'm looking around and I see an issue, and I'm like, oh, do I want to go get it? I pick it up, and sometimes in other shops, I'm like, can I? Like I'm looking over my shoulders. Can I flip through this real quick? Is someone going to tell me to put it down? But you walked into Comic Book Jones, you pick up the issue, you sit on the couch, you can read it right there.
Yeah. So you knew what you were getting. Yeah. It felt like a welcoming environment.
Yeah, it was really cool. Sako, love you, brother.
Oh, yeah.
Hope you're doing well.
And speaking of like welcoming environments, we went and had a couple conventions.
Yes, we did.
I went to 2. You went to how many?
I went to 2.
You went to 2. Which 2 did you go to?
I went to the New York City Comic Con, which was the first time Lynn and I went there in a few years. And we went to ChillerCon, which
we went to Chiller Theater.
Chiller Theater. We've done Chiller just about every year.
I used to do Chiller on a regular basis. I kind of fell out with Chiller for a little while because then I started going to New Jersey Horror Con down in Atlantic City, but I've also gone to like Monster Mania. So me, Lynn, we went and
Henry
and Henry went.
Gotta give love to Henry.
Yeah. I'll tell you about that separately later. But no, so we went to we all went to Chiller.
Yes.
And then I went to Exotica.
Okay, but before we get to Exotica,
which I can't show any of the footage that I shot because it will get yanked.
And he hoped he would get yanked, but I digress. Jumping back to Chiller. Now, a lot of people, Danny and a bunch of my other friends, say I look like Bronson Pinchot from Perfect Strangers. And one of the celebrities who was at Chiller this year was Mr. Mark Lynn-Baker, who played the father in She-Hulk. And most importantly, he played Cousin Laddie in Perfect Strangers for about 8 seasons.
You're not helping your case, but yes, 8 seasons.
8 seasons. And he worked with Mr. Bronson Pinchot. So before we leave, I'm debating, like, do I spend the money? Do I go up, talk to the guy? And Danny's like, fuck it. I'll pay for the autograph and the picture. I keep the autograph. We get the picture. I'm like, that's fine. So we walk up. Mr. Baker, how are you? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, you have to settle a argument for us.
No, you didn't.
He did.
I did.
Danny did. He goes, you have to settle an argument for us. He goes, does Mike look like Bronson Pinchot? And he looks at me. And it was like a quick glance. He stared for a good, 4, 5, 6 seconds. And I could see in his face that he wasn't exactly sure how to answer this. And I'm like, dude, I go, do I look like him? He looks at me, he goes, no. He goes, I can I can say you don't look like him at all. And yes, wait, here we go. Ready? For those of you who are watching, mic drop. So you have it from the man himself who worked with Bronson Pinchot for 7+ seasons. I do not look like Bronson fucking Pinchot. Thank you.
Yeah, Mike went and told him, like, you just made my day.
He did.
I
wanted
told
to get
him
that on a video, but
and
he said no, thank you.
I told him, I was like, you made his day. You just broke my heart.
Yep.
But
But of course, Corn the Doug is like, fuck you. I'm not listening to him.
you are still Balky.
I'm still bad.
Yeah, you are my Balky.
Cool and Danny.
See, now that needs to be done on a regular basis.
Cool and Danny.
So, Balky,
You dick.
yeah,
So now erotica.
so Exotica, not erotica, Exotica.
You get erotica at Exotica.
Oh, Exotica was a blast.
Same place?
Same place out in Edison, New Jersey.
Oh, so it's not the place we went to.
No, we
went to
were in
Parsippany.
Parsippany.
Right.
Now, Exotica was in the
Meadowlands?
convention center
Meadowlands
in
Convention Center?
Edison.
Okay.
So it's it's Edison Convention Center. They've been doing the. I've been going since 2017.
Okay.
2020 was the only year I didn't go in recent years, and that was because it didn't happen.
Didn't happen.
But I even went in 2021 when they first came back, and I have to say, amazing time, except for Henry. This is why I got it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'll tell you that story separately. If anyone wants to hear that story,
Right in, we'll tell you.
yeah, send me an email. Actually, it will take 10 emails from people other than Doug. So 10 emails will get this story on air, but that's dragoonslairpodcast@gmail.com. All one word, Dragoon is spelled with 2 O's. That's dragoonslairpodcast@gmail.com. Now, other than that, amazing time. Like, everyone is so friendly. All the stars there, reasonable priced, because going to different conventions and stuff, everyone charges something different.
Yeah.
Some people will charge like $40. This was literally, everybody was about $20.
That's cool.
It was only like maybe a couple people were a little more, but for the most part, $20. And that included like photos with them, or it was $20 to take photos with them. But you get some very nice photos, which you can see a miniature selection of on my Instagram, Blue Dragoon 13. So if you want to follow me there, you can see some of these photos. But I got to meet a few people I hadn't seen before, see a bunch of people I have.
Was there anywhere there that you said, holy shit, I have to meet this person?
I said that many times, many years ago.
But I'm talking about the one you just went to.
There was at least 2 because I hadn't seen them there before. And then there were a few that I saw that it was like, I had to look them up like after the first day. I was like, I gotta like.
And who were they?
Okay, so Pristine Edge and Corey Chase were ones that I was like, I have to. They had never been, like, I had never seen them there. Mm-hmm. I literally stood in line for probably over an hour waiting for Angela White.
I was gonna say, did you see Angela?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, she looks. She'd be a sweetheart.
Oh, she is such a sweetheart. She is so nice, so like beautiful. She looks so much better in person. And the thing is, I got to meet her back in 2017.
She has like a PhD. She's like a double doctorate. She's like a genius.
Oh yeah, she is extremely intelligent, very friendly, and yet I told her when I saw her this year, I was like, I met you back in 2017 and you look even better now than you did then. So it wasn't like hyperbole. It was straight up honest. Unfortunately, the one person I wanted to see a second time, because I did meet them in 2017 as well, but unfortunately they were only there on Saturday, which I didn't get to, and the line was massive, a Bella Danger. But there was so many people, so many things to see, so many great stuff there. There was like, you could get tons of fun little things for couples, things for yourself. There, like a lot of independent stuff. They actually had a couple of stands selling anime stuff. So like some statues and everything. I actually picked up one. So it was a great time, and I highly recommend that anybody who wants to go. There were people even in costumes there. There was a Pikachu walking around, so they had the inflatable Pikachu. You had some guy wearing a Spider-Man outfit walking around. So it's not just you think, oh, people are going to be dressed like very provocatively and stuff, and there were, but for the most part, it's so much fun and a welcoming environment for adults. You know, you can be standing in line and you can actually start up a conversation with a person either in front of you or behind you, and you have something in common.
Yep.
And I mean, everyone's there having a blast. And it was like, I got to take photos with people, and the people are really some of the nicest people. And I have to say, one of my all-time favorite people was there. Got to see her, April O'Neil.
April O'Neil.
She is absolutely a sweetheart and so nice, so fun. And
I follow her on her Instagram, and she's like a huge video game pinball freak.
oh yeah, she loves pinball. She is a big nerd. She plays Dungeons and Dragons. Not only that, but she also went and, you know, she's done like a bunch of the parody stuff, so she's got a great sense of humor, but she is also one of the absolute nicest people. Like, she takes her time, she talks to people, and she's a huge Disney person.
Really?
Yep. So she usually has tons of photos and stuff of her at Disney. She actually was the one that told me, because I asked her about the Star Wars Galaxies with build your own lightsaber. She's like, you got to do it first. She told me this a few years back. She's like, you have to do it first because it becomes part of the experience. Because you're walking around with the lightsaber, you got to keep it hidden, so it's the full interactive thing. And that was when it was only $200. Yeah, now it's $250. So
Disney.
Yeah. So, but the experience alone, she said, like, if you do like you build the droid, you got to carry around that droid with you the whole. So it really is something that it's like, oh, you know, you're really getting the experience. So the fact that like she's so sweet and will talk to you about stuff like that, absolute blast. Like, talking to her I saw her all 3 days. Like, I stopped by just to talk. And just even like saying hello and stuff, you're not getting any, like, not even if you don't get an autograph, nothing, you can just, some of them, just like talk to them, and it's just the nicest people.
So I usually bring something, like, when I go to conventions, I usually bring a script with me that I wrote to get people to, don't shake your head at me, because Linda's the same shit. Don't. Because, and she's like, why do you do that? I'm like, well, I want to be able to say I have something on the planet that no one else has. I think that's cool.
Okay,
it's what I do. But I didn't bring anything, so I was like, all right, whatever. So we happened to be on the walk down to the autograph floor just to see what was going on. And I looked over, and Lynn goes, look, there's no one over there. No one's online for Britt Baker. I was like, be right back. And I walked down, and, you know, there was like one person ahead of me, and, you know, sweetest person in the world.
Yeah.
And it's funny because she actually dates Adam Cole. And we're like, you know, I go to her, I'm like, I was there when Adam broke his ankle. I go, how's he doing? And she goes, wait, here's Bebe now. I'm like, really? I go, you call him Bebe? And she's like, she looks at me, she's like, yeah, it's cute. But, you know, and we were talking for a few minutes, and Linda's like, do you still practice dentistry? She goes, yeah, I do. She goes, do you do implants? And she's like, honestly, she goes, I could, but I'm not in the office enough to warrant that type of malpractice insurance. So she's like, I just basic dentistry. But she's not that tall. She's about my height, a little bit shorter, but sweetest person in the world. Yeah, she's, just chatting, and I'm walking back on the floor, and every time, look up, I wave, she waves back.
Yeah.
Very cool people. Of course, me like an idiot. I can't approach people. I have no idea what to say.
Yeah, I've noticed.
I know my strength. I know if I'm hanging out with people, it'll take me a while just to get to gauge your sense of humor and what can I say, what can't I say.
Which is funny because I'm the introvert, you're more of the extrovert, and I have no problem going up.
I can't. Again, I have absolutely no idea how to sometimes start a conversation with people.
You literally went and sat there, like we were standing there debating on just to even talk to Mark Lynn Baker for, what was it, 20 minutes?
Yeah. that was more along, do I really want to spend the money? But yeah, I would have everything planned out in my head, what I want to say. Look, I'm like, I'm a fan of yours. But honestly, the only person I can say that I never had a problem with, Kevin Smith.
Yeah, of course, because you are a huge fanboy.
I'm a fanboy. I have no
No shame.
shame, no regrets, no qualms.
Yeah.
Fanboy.
Listen, I'm a fan of Kevin Smith, but at the same time, it's one of those things where I admire his work.
Yep.
I think he's a good guy.
Yep.
But at the same time, I haven't met him like you have.
Honestly, I only met him 3-4 times.
I've met him once, and that was when we went to Smod Castle. But I saw him, I spoke to him very briefly when I was coming back from the bathroom because he was at the back of the movie theater.
I met him once at the Old Stash. I met him twice at the New Stash. And the other time, I can't really call it meeting him because we saw Blues Brothers out at Smart Castle, and he did like a Q&A and an auction afterwards, so I got something, so I wouldn't really call it that meeting, but
Yeah.
So I say 3 times. He's a cool dude.
Yeah. But I mean, like, the only times I've ever gotten like tongue-tied where I couldn't even think straight was meeting Danielle Harris,
Yep.
and before that, Trish Stratus.
Yeah. Like a dead.
Oh, I forgot my name.
Dead booby.
I literally forgot my name for Trish Stratus. And that was back when Staten Island had the train store, so Island Trains.
Island Trains.
Oh God, yeah. And mentioning wrestling a little bit, did you watch Netflix has the series Wrestlers?
No, I did not. I knew it. I did not watch it.
Yeah, it's about OVW and Al Snow.
Yep.
And one of the interesting things about there is they have a mother-daughter like couple that's there that are wrestlers that they are actually on WoW.
Yeah.
And they talk about WoW on there because they go from OVW to go over to WoW to do like a spot. And they've been over at WoW for at least a while now.
Yeah.
So they're actually pretty good. I highly recommend anybody who misses like watching like back in the day in the 80s with Glow and even like any kind of like fun, goofy wrestling. I definitely recommend checking out WoW.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I think I know a person who's on Wrestlers.
And I'm pretty sure you probably do. I mean, they had a few people that were known, other people that weren't really known. And I know you kind of follow like more of like the lower, like the independent stuff as well.
No, I'm not talking about wrestlers. I'm talking about like an actress.
Oh, I don't remember any actresses really, unless they were wrestlers.
Then maybe it's a different show. I'm thinking.
I'm pretty sure it's a different show.
Yeah.
But yeah.
A few of these people I recognize.
So now that we're back on a regular and we can discuss a bunch of things.
We're leaving. Goodbye. See you later.
No, just so you know, we're not getting rid of the wheel. The wheel will make a return.
We'll make a return.
So we're going to have a lot of fun and we're going to be able to discuss things that are actually coming out rather than only being able to talk about things that are out now. So as you heard today, we were able to discuss a little bit about Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire with the trailer that dropped. So we're going to be looking into more trailers and stuff. If there's any movies you want us that you think we would find interesting or even torturous, because I know watching the Crackoon trailer really like freaked Mike out.
It didn't freak me out. I just
can't believe it's being made.
Yes.
No,
more disbelief than anything.
Listen, Asylum put out a movie.
There you
Ape.
go. It's the fucking Asylum.
Well, they put out Ape versus Mecha Ape, which I have to check that out just because it's like.
I actually called the Asylum one time.
Yeah.
And I looked up the guy who did all the scripts, or the production man, or whatever the hell he's called. And I was like, I'd like to speak to so and so. And they're like, okay, well, he's out in the field. What can I do you for? I was like, I have ideas and I want to pitch a few to him. And the woman goes, well, we usually do all of our stuff in the house. I go, well, how can I get in the house? And she was like, well, you can call back later. I'm like, okay. And I did. And I'm like, yeah, it's the asylum. And I don't think I can write that goofy.
Yes,
I
you can.
I can.
Yes, you can.
I can. Some of my early shit.
Oh, you definitely can.
I can write goofy.
Can write goofy, just can't figure out the names for the characters.
I can write goofy. I just can't figure out names. I have a problem with names. What can I say?
Yep. So, Mike,
Names and spelling.
now, want to give the promotions and where they can get in touch with us.
Okay, you can get in touch with us if you have carrier pigeons. We accept carrier pigeons. I'm learning how to read smoke signals, so if you want to blow smoke, I can read smoke signals. But if you want to get more in the 21st century, you can hit us up at the Dragoons Lair Podcast at gmail.com. That's Dragoons Lair Podcast, all spelled one word, spelled with 2 O's, at gmail.com. You can hit me up at Hamster Pellet Productions at gmail.com. You could follow me at Mike Schiavo on Facebook. You can follow me at Hamster Pellet Productions on Facebook. You can follow the Dragoons Lair Podcast on Instagram at, oddly enough, Dragoons Lair Podcast. And you can follow us on Facebook at the Dragoons Lair Podcast.
And where can they find you specifically?
I said that. You could find me, Michael Schiavo, at Facebook.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Yeah, they heard me.
Yeah, well, you got a little tongue-tied there.
Yes, I did.
It,
all spelled with one word, but I can't pronounce it.
yeah. Yeah, we can tell it's been that break was a little long.
It's been a hot minute since I had to do that.
Yeah, so it's been a little while. And where can they find you when you're doing your GM work?
Oh, yes. You can find me. I am the general manager of New Evolution Wrestling, but on Instagram. Okay, there's 2 New Evolution Wrestlings. We are New Evolution Wrestling NYC. Okay, New Evolution Wrestling NYC on Instagram. And also on Facebook, New Evolution Wrestling NYC.
There you go. And
we have one more time. We have a show coming up in February. I believe we're going back to the Elks Lodge out in Queens. And when I have more information about the card and if we're definitely going back there, I will pass it on to you.
Thank you. And you can find me, Blue Dragoon 13, at Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat, which I'm hardly ever on.
Pressing the button.
Yeah, I noticed. But you can also find me on Twitch. Twitch has the link for the Discord. And you can make sure you can find and follow, like us, on Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, or Apple Podcast, Amazon Podcast. You can pretty much find us anywhere where podcasting is available.
Yep.
So, with that being said, it's been great to be back because, let's face it, folks.
We missed you.
And we know you missed us.
Yes. You probably missed us more than we missed you, but we missed you.
And we've missed making fun of Doug, so.
Yeah.
But I'm sure Doug will have some retorts with an email soon.
A retort.
Yes. So, thank you all for tuning in. We love you all, and you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Now get out. He's having fun with...
I'm pressing buttons on it.
Please. Yeah, this is the problem with putting the board too close to him.
Oh, that was a good one.
Now get out.